happen. I don't think people will leave again.
And that's what's nice about watching from your house.
Yeah, I don't think
Just
people
pop
will
back up,
leave
turn
again.
TV back on.
Started to score again. It's like, yay, go Bills, and then they score again.
You're like,
and at the
oh
end,
my God.
the end was insane.
I can, even with
fumble.
the reduced crowd, it was.
Yeah, I mean, it was loud, loud.
When the Bills recovered the fumble, that's when
Yeah,
I heard
Yeah,
the
yeah.
scream and the thud.
yeah.
Hey, you gotta take advantage of the opportunities, you know?
I thought he was
And they
being
did.
attacked.
They did. That was fun to watch, I'll tell you.
Mhm.
Right on. Got off the plane on Thursday.
Yeah.
Red eye.
Mhm.
My daughter's eyes was like,
Pressure.
I know.
Oh, my God.
Well, maybe there wasn't any, because you're like, what do you got to lose? Like,
Right.
they don't have no expectation to be at this point.
Like during the game, they like showed him just like on the sidelines. I didn't. It's like, James, who is that guy? He looks like
So
he's like.
they said, they're like, if you didn't know who he was, you have no clue.
What, they think he was one of the coaches or
No,
something?
well,
Somebody
the
else.
players did that,
Yeah,
but
water boy.
but I was like,
Water boy.
well, he was like dressed. He had the jersey on. And I was like,
my
it
daughter's
looked
like
like
this.
if I was to be walking around on the side.
He comes out, and my daughter's like, that's the oldest guy that's ever played for the Bills. And he's our kicker.
They all know who he is now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know what's worse, though. Like, I turned on the Steelers Jets game. Aaron Rodgers running out there. I'm like, can the Steelers pick up someone with a little bit of youth?
And anyways.
They did pull it out. It was good.
Yeah.
It was a good game.
They said he looked pretty good.
I
I
did.
didn't.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't split his Achilles on the first play, so.
Yeah, yeah.
He wasn't playing the Bills.
Jets didn't look terrible. They're in Miami.
Yeah, I heard that. I didn't watch that game. The only one game I watched all weekend was the Bills, but I heard that Miami game was terrible. They
It was.
looked.
Blow up.
I was watching Pee Wee football and high school football all weekend. So every time Sunday came around, I was football out.
Yeah.
Ever?
Yeah, James had a game down in Cornell Friday
Oh.
night, and then
Oh, really?
yeah, and then Selden had his Pee Wee game down in Geneseo. So
You guys play at Dansville there pretty soon.
yeah, Friday.
Friday, right?
Yeah, down in
In
Danville.
Dansville.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to drive to Cornell. We drive down to Dansville.
We do it every day. It's not that bad.
Cornell's a hike,
Cornell is a high.
and I got to see what the Canasarega game is. That's a homer and away for us, or Canisteo.
It's amazing. I was the one guy that we just hired as the maintenance foreperson. His kid plays ball, but we're talking, because like it's Wayland, Dansville, Cohocton.
Yeah.
Make one team. And he said someone was like, it's towns west, small, like Canasarega, or like Warsaw, like Letchworth, like those, they're merging. I'm like, these kids must sit on the bus for
Yeah.
45 minutes just to get where they're gonna practice every
Right.
day.
Yeah, it's a hike.
Because even if you went from like Dansville to Wayland, because Cohocton's is their home field in Cohocton.
Yeah, but it seems like that's where we've gone to play is
In
down in
Cohocton.
Cohocton. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of hike. I bet you it's like flying through stuff.
Yeah, you take Route 21.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
Route 21
21.
or 63 into Wayland to the 21.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because Dansville, Winnebago, Cornell's like, Cornell, Hartport, Canasarega,
Cornell from us is another 20 minutes.
yeah. But they're combined with Hartport and then Canasarega.
Which surprised me because Cornell's technically a city school.
Yeah, but I think you're seeing it all over the place. Avon, I don't know how much longer they can hold on their own. They're like one of the last
Single.
schools in football.
And I know the one guy, and then you were saying like, the Kilmom? No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
Kilmom is merged with somebody.
Yeah, Leroy of all places, because they were like arch rivals.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, we were trying to figure it out when I talked.
But Calmon was combined with Byron Burchett, and then they combined with Leroy and booted Byron.
Are you talking
Here,
about
you-
just for sports or?
Yeah, yeah, they just can't get the numbers.
Because they need,
these
need
teams.
numbers to make rosters and
Yeah.
they just can't get kids.
And I think the school numbers, but just kids participated in stuff is,
It is way down.
yeah. Yeah, it started if you, even like my brother, when he was in Clarence, which is a big district in Buffalo.
Yeah.
He said that, kids would just be like, I would just stay home, like, they don't have anything else to do.
Yep.
But they're just like, I'm not gonna be the best at this, I just don't wanna do it.
Which is crazy though, because like, coming from a Russian area, they had 150 kids just on the track team,
Right.
and then down there, they're struggling to make a soccer team,
Right.
Yeah. Or even baseball team for that matter.
Yeah, I think like for like wrestling, like this last year when the season started, I think Mickey said they had like 60 some kids in that room.
Really?
And they lose in the first week, a bunch of kids drop out, but you're still got, 45 kids in there. Yeah, and there was like 12, and that's combined with Geneseo.
At least you don't need a minimum number to. run the program. That's pretty big down in our town, in Dansville right now.
Yeah. They got, because they're combined with Winco in there, and there's like 3 pretty good sized families in there. There's Satori, Thompson kid, the Mellenbauer kids, so they got 3 pretty decent families that are committed to it.
Good evening. Welcome to the town board meeting for the town of Rush for September 10th, 2025. Please join me for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ben, would you call the roll, please?
Holly,
Here,
Councilman Chase,
Here.
Councilman Pies,
Here.
Councilman Brown,
Here.
Supervisor Wilbur,
Here. I have no announcements this evening. We're gonna break for an executive session for a litigation matter. So, make a motion to move to executive session,
I'll second that.
close. I need to close the meeting.
No, it's just, you're just going
Well-
into things that I guess you're out.
all in favor of doing that?
Aye.
Yeah, I'm wearing that. Oh, that's fine. Keep yourself safe.
Because they rotate.
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly.
Right. Yeah, it's free.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. More than just
I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's a benefit to it. Yes, there is. Sometimes like. That's why. Like what's happening.
I'll say everybody that wants to turn some days, so.
I mean, nice.
I'll start owned by contractors for 6 months, a year. And then nice on the outside, but nobody knows what's underneath the side.
Okay. It didn't even test it.
I know. It's like a. Executive team. No, that we.
Yeah.
Wow, well, that's. Not bad. We'll see how long they take. How long have you been in participating?
Right, right. Yeah.
Reach out to.
She's like, yeah, she's like, different department, what is that? Hey, you're.
So that's gonna be the resolution. I'm starting with electronic vehicles. Either have yourselves construction or solar. And the question is, I am choosing I would say I always need to get in some of the past. You're just passing along so much.
Years out, the push for the renewable resources, like wind and solar, even just manufacturers, farmers and restrictions, kind of help with that, so it's something for sure. Yeah, been working in manufacturing for last 8 years, maybe 9 years. And there's some of the old machines that are kind of grandfathered into.
Yes.
Things, they're kind of scary. And then there's the newer ones that like you have to come through so they just pull it out. Yeah, pull it out. There's like a standing for it, so.
Well, so. My husband bought it. And one of the tractors, so I just wanted a little to get a little. Which I could do, I could do it. What I could do. He's very something.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I can fill a tank.
Like some of those states, you just see end up spilling more.
And I've discovered that a lot of these people don't work for some side.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're saying, yeah. Okay. A lot of things are.
And that's fine, as long as you've got one.
See, was, I mean, that they're, cleaning it. I didn't know that they didn't want it to because they. My boss is getting part of the New York City.
Registration.
No, just parts and all wrongs. And one of them brought back a few months ago. And he says, parking, those meters. What the thing on his, came out and they said. But I went. And the sign on the street said, right next to where the car was, that there was no parking from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. weekdays. And it said 9 to 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. It was parking by meter. So I sent that in with an appeal, and there's my evidence. Allowed to park there. Well, the judge said, no, it's not good enough evidence. It's like, look at it, it's a picture of the street,
Yeah.
and it has been. So I sent it back and said, I'm appealing the judge's decision. I haven't heard yet.
Yeah, yeah.
I told him before.
It's right.
Yeah.
So we check it out. It always comes out, it always
There's software that's. Yes. Schedule.
Oh, well, okay, so April versus started, and we had to sign up. Every. That's it.
Right.
Day shifts. Okay. Jelly good. Does it work?
Yeah.
The doc.
Yes.
Whatever the other. They're very good. You got chambers.
Yeah.
They got the docket. And just maybe.
So, once those are done, you can go.
No, I finished that. I finished my, no, she's at the bottom. One night at 7:30. That's what she remembered. And, we gotta wait for 9:15. 9:15 on a weekday.
Doesn't get.
9:15. Everything, no, like it's like day. So then that was something. So we signed up for. But I haven't signed until.
Oh, wow.
I didn't say.
Yeah, exactly. The ones that are. That's it. So it goes to.
So it goes better.
Then
Was being very big, right? So,
you're down on.
I'm like
the
35. There was 5 of us. This year.
So what do they do? Alphabetically?
I will know. So.
You're lucky here. This line is in the middle. I don't know.
No. So they're running hard. It's hard. Go back and forth. These are the terms.
Oh, right, same kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice guy.
I think he ran for family court done a couple of years ago.
Maybe.
I think he did.
And
Yeah, from Pittsburgh, I think.
so you.
Oh,
Years.
okay.
Yeah. He's on. Retired.
Okay.
Huge kind of guy. Well, so he was.
No.
That side too. He's got one again. Yeah. Took a vacation spot. So he's got to run for. Right here. My class. They go down all those. And then there's all.
Well, I was gonna say, once you have gone through the, okay, you still looking in there.
Every halfway through, yeah. But tomorrow. Yeah.
Where?
Yeah.
Yeah. It does. I vote no. Yeah. You can see the new building.
I'm going to that.
Okay.
Two different ones.
Do they vote for it?
The same. So I got the side. April. Gonna do everything. So.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah. So I and plus.
twice now.
Yeah.
You try. Yeah, no, that one was very clear.
She went, yeah. I
Yeah.
One out, so I was like, all right.
So like,
Right.
pace of one day.
Yeah. I'll be-
On my other side, I've also found.
Okay.
I was like, this shit. So.
Yeah.
We don't, they never do like that.
Yeah.
She probably would, I mean, but I. Because she got better done.
With the new rule, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
And what's going extra long. Because it helps.
Right. And I don't know if it's gonna be a positive thing or more or negative.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
Yeah, well, especially. Yeah. Right.
Yes. So much.
Oh.
I think that's it. She was here, not she's not.
Okay.
That's how it depends on what I heard.
Yeah.
It's a little bit, yeah.
It is.
Yeah. It just. It'll just be.
So I have to have a big tree come down there because it's got a split in it. It's my biggest tree. Oh, I'll try to go and for this to follow them. So. Yeah, I am getting a new roof this week. We have to take the my solar panels off my roof. And then I think Friday. Put it back on and make made sure this.
Did they give you a, it's called a safe? Yes.
No. I know, I'm familiar with it, being a teacher, and being an art teacher, we used to actually do it. But.
I mean, it's one thing for them to say there isn't. But what they found in they had stuff called, I don't know. Gen X. And the Gen X has a marketing. What's that? The piece on it.
Oh, yeah, well,
right.
Yeah, and so people who were looking for the.
wow. Removed the photo, yeah. From the roofs, this company charged me too. But it's the same company that's doing it. It's like $8,000. So I'm gonna be getting that. Maybe it's gonna be a lot of choice.
I didn't know.
For this tree.
They are the only people I select for my outside.
Writing down.
And then the charge based on what equipment. You know, what I'm burning, and they've got the big stuff, but you know. But there's, I mean, when you're there, they are working hard.
Yeah, they probably deserve the money. It's gonna be at least 5,000, if not more.
Yeah.
It's a big maple red, like, good thing was, is that was all maple red. That's. But size, not reading takes place first, and it's further away from the house.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be something. I've lived with that street for 30 years. And I'm gonna use the wood. Yeah, I was actually splitting wood today, wood that has come down. I don't like the chainsaw, I use the chainsaw. It just gets heavy after a while. I am very I understand. But, so yeah, I had to do some processing to the more like counting or. I don't really want it, and but I started with the fire, it's cold in the house, just the found wood to one of them. Cause I have a glass front. I just love it so much. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it.
So satisfying, sexy, fun. It's just great.
That's my life. I've been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah.
And even when I get to do 103, if I have to carry one at a time. I'm hoping I really want to do that.
That's your goal.
That's my goal.
And what is your terminology telling?
My mother died at 75, and my father at 71.
Well, 75 and 71 isn't quite
Yeah, I've got it.
101, but 104 or whatever it is.
No, but I just have hope.
It's like whoever.
I have goals.
Yeah.
My diet's pretty good. It's not perfect. So it's pretty good. Get a lot of it. But no, I need to do yoga more. I'm gonna do it once in a while and do it more. Cause I don't. Clean out.
So.
Follow video. I get a video on this file where. And it's one. Yeah, right. And that's the same person. It's great.
Yeah. It works.
It works for me. But I'm not doing it myself. I did it like 2 weeks ago. So how much is?
Well, you're probably the one person that knows more than, I mean, not even.
I do walk the dog. It's nice. Yeah. I'm very active. I can try. Yeah. Three volunteers on Tuesday, from 9 to 12. We used the tractor to get them all, and Janet got Saturday with 2 volunteers. Mulch of all these, not much, cardboard, we did the cardboard on the. And so we must have big bushes. It's the 3 of us.
Yeah.
I mean, our cardboard is ready for mulch. She had to come in for a shift.
Yeah.
But the 3 of us, the 4 of us. For 3 hours, we work like a machine. And we got, because we had the wheel, we had the tractor bucket. So one of them, I have a resale. He went and got the mulch, brought it to us, and we shoveled right over there. Yeah, and we worked like we would get paid by the job. Not the, we were so proud of ourselves, we worked like a machine. We worked like a machine. So yeah, we were so, and it was just about so good, because we know we're doing good about it, we need some rain. And we're out of water.
Yes.
We have that big cube of water, but it's empty, and usually Bruce Howard, fills it, but he hasn't filled it, he has to ask him. He asked him, but I think, yes. Yeah. It's pollinator gardens. We've been needing more time.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting low.
All right.
Yeah, because it's
And
that's right. Otherwise, he would be, yeah. Oh my God.
that's,
That I can do.
so yeah. It's better.
And we'll cardboard holder.
You saw it. Yeah, so cute.
It's functional, it's just like. Yeah.
I told you that.
Or something to be said for people like that.
I know.
Do that. Right.
That's special. Really. I tell him, I think it's not.
Yeah.
He really does. And he's got a lot of humility. Let's see. And his daughter, She was very scientific about it.
Must be in the hour. Must be in the hours.
Well, no, it was just, she thought it was like, might have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't an amount. It's so beautiful, like the things we experienced here all together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta call Janet Chase because I owe her a response, so it's just kind of not right on top.
Illegal, and they changed the code. No.
It's like we're so much community goes there, but you make friends.
Right, right. Some of the drawers are weird.
I'm gonna find out.
Yeah,
On tape. I think they are, I think I've opened it before.
Okay.
There we go.
Something that I've never noticed so before.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So that's what she gave us to say.
So there's also your votes on it, and I know that the person with the white barn had a question. But it's really exclusive with the barn.
It's a well formed. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, when it's big, so there's these other big barns, yeah.
Even though there is case law that says you can't.
Yeah, they came there. Yeah, but anyway, I know they just got issued it, and I have to stop at that house because I need my barn. Who's the house?
Right.
And I saw it just.
They painted the barn in the house.
Oh, yeah, it's nice to like, groceries like that.
Yeah.
Wow, was it just one person?
She didn't see that. I don't know.
I noticed that.
There were different people that they were in when I drove. by.
Oh, okay.
But it was more than one.
I think it said alternate, but I'm not sure. So anyway, I saw it stop at the house, but it's not in.
You have an opportunity. They still have. Let them decide.
That would be the cause.
Yeah.
They're both, yeah. Abner Bushman came to West Henry Island with the rush. And the story is that he had 5 sons and had a cobblestone district. And Rick's house, the little mine, the one that came down the field. West Henry and town. It became a pile of rocks. It's been down there. They've gone for a long time. Right, that was and there is one on telephone. You go down, turns to the road. There's a bush, but the bush is all there. And it's a nice. Right.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I'm not sure if it went online.
So. Or other, like.
So.
And how many more houses? I know there's one, oh, the one, Martin? I think I know which one, is that one you know, telephone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, right. I think it's the one closer to the intersection of Cameron Line. I'm not sure. I have to go. I have the addresses, but.
Yeah. What to do? I wonder if I'm somehow to do it.
Yes, too. And off the top of my head, she didn't know.
And you know, Susan Swanson's house,
Yeah, I think that's great.
she's gonna have that opening.
Neat.
You gonna go for it?
Around.
Seek to speak with. Or.
Oh, yeah.
You should know.
Yeah.
Right away.
Yeah. Housing.
So, and then there's another one. Two. The 25.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's another one. There's multiple.
Right. Yeah.
They want mulch like that. Yeah, we don't like that long. When you say what
Where
you're
it
getting,
comes from.
yeah. Exactly. There's some like beautiful tile, couple weeks
And then
ago,
it's-
we used it. When he came and he just- I was happy to be there when he was dumping it, wow, looks good, looks good, just sharpened all the blades. So you got a really good flash. Yeah.
So it would be a very short.
Yeah, for a month.
Working through right now. We just been.
But you know what you could do though, if you wanted to do on your own, you could put it on there. And
Is that actually?
yeah, on a large area, that would be useful.
Isn't
You can, we might
Yeah.
do it in jar,
You know, they went down.
you know, somewhere.
You were an art teacher.
Yeah, I'm still. Just not practicing 30 years.
Yeah.
I started out,
Yeah.
Is she?
Yeah.
I started out as
We already
a
got-
psychologist, I wanted to be a psychologist.
No.
And I got my bachelor's and my master's.
Oh, wow.
And I changed it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was almost an art major too.
Yeah.
Where did you go to school?
So my undergraduate was with a small school in Virginia. And I was just thinking that one of the classes I enjoyed was art history. And, you know, that was in the sixties, but I still, you know, I see something and I think, I bet I know something about that.
That's nice.
Yeah, yeah,
Very rich.
and then I was at Clemson for my master's at Syracuse.
That's really good. Where your master's in,
The master's was in economics,
that's cool, I know nothing about that.
the doctorate was. The labor theory, actually, but it's.
Yeah.
Labor study, yeah,
Right.
labor study, but it was. Ed, educational, right? And your undergraduate was, so,
You're not making the right and doing right.
I never met.
There you go.
Except. I'm very well.
I didn't think.
That's someday.
That's right. Just remember at the end of the meeting. that it's
I
that
know,
form.
I'm gonna look at it.
Make a motion, move back into,
In the executive session. And then the regular.
and the executive session and move back into the town board meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Public comment period? Anybody have a public comment? 3 minutes?
Thank you for the time to speak. My name's Kelsey, resident on Middle Road. During the last board meeting on August 27th, I spoke about concern about accuracy of information in our meeting minutes and town board meeting agendas. To the best of my knowledge, the August 13th meeting minutes, which I raised issue with and missing report information specifically related to the highway report, has still not been updated. I did get an email from Pam later this afternoon, where she said that you guys were going to be working on those meeting minutes. But again, I urge you to table the approval of the August 13th meeting minutes until we see an update that reflects accurate reporting. I have similar issue with the August 27th board meeting minutes, as well as the budget workshop meeting minutes. August 27th, just as an example, the discussion around the pickleball court, when that resolution was accepted to take the grant money to build our pickleball court, there was discussion among board members where we would, at a later date, bring up the location of the pickleball court. So it was decided, or at least discussed, that we could in the future discuss that location for the pickleball court. The meeting minutes from August 27th, again, lacking any context or information related to that. So curious on where those next steps are being stored. If they're not being captured in our meeting minutes, is there any record that discussion is going to happen at a future date? Similar August 27th budget workshop meeting minutes. We sat here for a pretty long evening, all of us who were in attendance, till about 10:30 at night. And that was about a 2-hour meeting. And what we get is one paragraph worth of information, right? The context for what happened in that discussion, who said what, overall, just the need to address cost saving initiatives, the need to understand cost of living adjustments, why they're not equally applied against employees of the town. All that context is missing. Similarly, the proposed budget that was discussed wasn't attached. I would expect to see that just for residents to have better context into that overall meeting. Switching gears for a minute, just wanted to express, some frustration with the last minute cancellation of the workshop meeting on Monday, as well as what appears to be a last minute reschedule of our public hearing for the tax levy increase. I hope there's just cause for why those things are being canceled and rescheduled. But it is disheartening for folks that are prepared to come and listen and speak and interact, for those things to be moved at the last minute. Finally, related to tax levy discussion, based on the budget meetings that I was in attendance for, we're pretty far from a finalized budget. So it just surprises me that we're even in discussion about a tax levy increase when there doesn't seem to be data to support the need at this point in time, because we're so far from a finalized budget. That's everything I have for tonight. I appreciate you guys listening. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Janet Glocker, a Rush resident since 1976. I've often spoken about protecting prime agricultural soils from PFAS contamination. Landowners are told that their land will be returned to them in the future in a more fertile state because of lying fallow or being fertilized by sheep when solar panels are placed on them. Research is now accumulating that reveals something entirely different, with heavy metal contamination now added to the concern about PFAS. Like PFAS, some of these metals will bioaccumulate. A 2019 Buffalo study compared soil samples from beneath PV panels and from fields near the panels. Selenium, strontium, lithium, nickel, and barium levels measured in soil samples increased significantly with the PV systems. There were no significant differences in lead or cadmium, however. A 2024 study of soil contamination in South Korea rice fields from intact panels show elevation in levels of toxic metals, including cadmium, copper, arsenic, mercury, lead, hexavalent chromium, zinc, and nickel. There were significant soil fertility changes in Italy in a 2022 study. 7 years of PV soil coverage modified the soil fertility with a significant reduction in water holding capacity and soil temperature. Electrical conductivity and pH increased. Additionally, under the panels, the soil organic matter was dramatically reduced, minus 61% for total organic carbon, minus 50% for soil total nitrogen compared to the areas between panels. A 2025 study examined soil under panels installed in Poland and found significantly higher levels of several contaminants, including health concerning levels of cadmium in panel runoff, as well as indium and antimony in the soils beneath the panels. I respectfully request that the town board soon discuss changes in our local solar law, resulting from discussions directed by Councilman Keyes. Science teacher Amber Corbin and I worked with the code committee after many discussions with Councilman Keyes, and monitoring soil and water changes in our town's solar installations will be an important part of the solar code change proposals. Thank you. I will send this statement to you and request its inclusion in the meeting minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Catherine Hankins, 2353 Pinnacle Road. I was unable to attend the August 27th meeting, so I went to YouTube and it wasn't there. The budget session was there, but the discussion about the pickle court wasn't there. So I foiled because it seemed right through the grapevine. It just seemed so quick. When was the grant done? So I researched all the past minutes. I thought maybe I missed something again. Nothing in the minutes. And so I have that. And I have a whole packet that I will send by email because I didn't want to take up too much time tonight. And then I heard that the grant hasn't even been applied for. But I got from the FOIL quite quickly, it was all redacted. So again, I guess I sometimes feel like I'm scolding the board. There's laws to be followed. You know, we have a right for information. Just as a former resident just said, you know, when you can't come to a meeting and you can't access it through Zoom and you have no way of knowing what happened and something that could impact your town's future, and you're spending a lot of time and energy to help make sure that the town campus is right. And you have spent time and energy to have trees planted there in memoriam. And then you realize that a pickleball court is going to be a problem. But I was here in 2021 when we decided that the pickleball courts would be where the basketball court was, 2 pickleball courts. So I have done extensive research. It's far too much to, I'll send it to you, but we need a siting study. And what I did see in the minutes was a comment from Councilman Brown, which I applaud, is that we have Stony Brook Park. We have a park on East River Road that is available. We do not have to put any more of anything in our back way. And in the minutes again, it said from past minutes, one of the reasons why we didn't get a grant in 2018 was because our town was not large enough to warrant a $60,000, $70,000 grant. I found one study that for 1 pickleball court per 5,000 residents. So what is the utilization of our current courts? How much courts do we need? And to have that community discussion of what do we need for recreation for our seniors, for our teens, have the discussion ahead of time. But it's a little misleading. It's a little bit wrong for a town board to put on new business and approve the acceptance of a grant that hasn't been written. That's just not right. The other thing I want to make sure is that the agenda for the August 27th was again incomplete. The assessor made a presentation. I appreciate that. But you know,
That's fine, but the agenda was incomplete and we had the assessor make a presentation for something that I have been following for 3 years since the governor of this state said we could have income exemptions, and I was not aware that she was going to make that presentation because it was not on the agenda. The agenda should be complete. This is the second time that's happened. It was not complete before when the assessor was going to get a 6-year extended term. The agenda is supposed to be complete, again, based on the law. There's no excuse. And there's no reason, when there's so few people here, to have us be limited to 3 minutes. None of us are as smart as all of us. And if we listen to the people out here, we would do a much better job and make sure that we don't have any litigation and we don't have any problems in this town that because of unintended consequences. I applaud those of you who speak out and defend the opportunity for our citizens to be well protected. Thank you, Councilman Brown. Thank you, Councilman Morelli. Thank you, Councilman Dees. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Good evening, Marianne Rizzo. Stoll Road. None of us is greater than all of us. Thank you. None of us is greater than all of us. Regarding the pickleball courts, I do like the idea. The 2 that we have are sharing with the basketball court. Is there 2 there that we're sharing? And I didn't know there were 2. I thought there was 1, but I heard there's 2. Is it true there's 2?
We have 2 sets of nets.
But are there 2 areas within the basketball court to play pickleball, or is there just 1 area? Because I know at one point we did have a grant, I mean, a expenditure to put the lines in for the pickleball. So. Thank you.
Not by,
No, if I just have.
not by the time.
Okay, so, all right. So we have a basketball court. Okay, so, 2 new pickleball courts. Okay. I assume there's been a need assessment before applying for the grant or before you accepted the application for the grant. So, or have you recorded the usage of the ones that we had? I just want to know about utilization. What is the utilization of what we did have? And I don't know how long the lines were in for, so maybe I don't know anything about the utilization. I just wondered if you do. And I just don't want to have a duplication of anything we already have. And so when I thought we had at least 1 or 2 pickleball courts and we're going to add 2 more, I thought to myself, well, what about 1 pickleball court and 1 tennis court? Because I remember people had asked for that in the comprehensive plan. So I thought, well, that would make a lot of sense. So anyway, all of this, of course, is very concerning to me because of where to put it. And you know that, our Rush Recreation and Park Association helped to plant 2 memorial trees in the area that you had talked about putting it. And I want to ask you to, and then I know there's other trees there with canopies, and I understand there's going to be a 6-foot fence, black fence. And I just think that some of those trees will have to come down, and one might say, oh, we can move the memorial trees. But this is the areas like the park-like setting of the park, of the town park. And not only that, we sit under these trees when we watch the concerts at the gazebo. So I would just like to ask you to please let that be the last resort. Consider White Springs, consider Stony Brook, consider beyond the charging station. There's a fence there, and maybe that could be one side of the fence. And that maybe that they could be elongated so the 2 courts can be long there. And then consider behind the pavilion too, maybe you can measure it before the drop-offs. I think that there would be room there if you really wanted it here. My other issue is the code changes. Thank you. I'll be brief. So the code changes are being discussed at the workshop meetings. And I want to tell you that a lot of people, I realize you've been doing workshops for a long time on Mondays. Maybe usually on one of the first Mondays of the month, not always. But not a lot of citizens don't know that these workshop meetings, what they mean and what's happening in them. So if you're going to do some code changes with home occupations, I really think you should have a public forum about this, because this is something that's going to affect the entire town. And most citizens, I would say 98% of the citizens are unaware that this is being discussed. So I just ask that you make an effort to have a public forum on this issue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Phyllis Wickerham, 105 Biondo Court. I was not going to speak tonight, but listening to the three people ahead of me, Mrs. Glocker's PFAS contamination, I understand her concerns. She's always had those concerns. I do not. As far as the young woman from Middle Road and Mrs. Hankin and Miss Rizzo, your concerns about what's on the agenda and not having it there. What you have failed to understand is that this is just a template. It also says at the very bottom of the agenda that this agenda is subject to change depending on what happens within the time that it's printed and what is. So I'm answering questions that I know that the town board can't answer because I know the answers to them. As far as the minutes are concerned, if you look at the laws on what is expected in open meetings law with the minutes, it is a summary of what happens at the meeting. It is not verbatim. And if you would like things included in it, those don't have to be published, but if you want to come into the town, the clerk is very happy to share those with you. I have other things that I will be talking about once we do have the public hearing on the tax cap, but I also have one thing to say about the workshops. I attend the workshops. I know about the workshops. It is my responsibility as a community citizen to inform my neighbors about what's happening in our town. It is not up to the town board to go around and call everybody they know to tell them what's on the agenda. If our community members are interested in what is happening here, then let them do the homework and let our community representatives go out and tell everybody to get here. I did see Carol Barnett put an email together, and on Monday night, when I found out that the workshop was canceled, I contacted Carol and said, if you know anybody who's coming or who plans on it, please let them know it has been canceled. So it's up to me as a citizen of our community to share the wealth of knowledge that we have. I do not expect the town board to have to do that all on their own. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Alex Hawk. I'm from Middle Road as well. I just have a quick response to the last speaker. And especially if we don't post the meeting minutes or the meeting on YouTube for Rush residents to see, and then then if you don't post the meeting minutes as well, then how are we supposed to know that certain topics were discussed? And how are Rush residents supposed to understand that they can go in and ask for additional information? That's all I have to say. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
David McGlashan, April Lane. Like Phyllis, I hadn't planned on speaking either, but now I need to. But I do believe that I don't think it should be the burden on Phyllis to have to share with her neighbors the things that are going on in the town. I think if our town officials would like people to be part of that, they'd make every effort to make sure they were aware of it. I know she says it's not their responsibility, but it is your choice. So if you would like people to be more like educated on things, I'm an educator at heart, so I'm always making sure families are communicated with and make sure things are going on. Also, I did put in a FOIL request for the budget notes because no one was allowed to have those at the workshops, because I attend a lot of the workshops too, like Phyllis does. My request, if you really want to wait me out all the way, will be 2 days after. Now, I think you're postponing the public hearing. If possible, if you could get them to me before that, so I can make an informed decision on stuff, because you guys already had that information, so we should have the right to that information too, as public and residents of this town. So little special request if possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Moving on to approval of the minutes.
I know it was noted this evening about the August 13 minutes, I think 2 minutes, because Superintendent Kyle did state something. I did omit them, not intentionally, but I will be including in the official minutes that Superintendent Kyle was working at East River Road, West Rush Road, plans to stone and oil on Middle Road, and add drainage to Harvest Lane. So that verbiage will be included in the August 13 minutes. And for the public's knowledge, the official minutes are in the minute book of the town clerk in every town hall. Other than that, as well, I'm running for work, I that was talked about from the section on the completion dates. If anyone in the public would like to speak to the town board, you go up to the microphone in the open comment session. The town board right now has the opportunity to approve or not approve town board minutes. They do not need to be approved, but the town board has jurisdiction whether or not they would like to amend them before they approve them. Your jurisdiction.
Anyone want to make a motion to approve the minutes for the 13th?
I so move to approve town board meeting, I'm gonna say amended, Pam. Amended minutes by town clerk Hargrave of Wednesday, August 13th, 2025. Do I have a second?
I'll second, and that's based on the fact that they're gonna be amended.
Correct.
Councilwoman Morale?
I will not vote to approve them because I have not seen the amended minutes, because I made comments the last meeting about things being incorrect in those minutes. Those minutes said that, and I have my notes because I take little notes. It reflected resident Janet Glocker from speaking at that meeting. She did not. So I don't know how that gets in there. I spoke at length at that meeting and made a lot of corrections to the minutes. You weren't here. I think the deputy clerk was here. I gave her a copy of my complete report that I wrote and read verbatim and gave the whole report. And I thought it was quite important because 2 board members met with members of Horseshoe Solar in Venergy. And we had a really important meeting that had a lot of important updates. And that brushed aside when you had the whole goddamn thing to put in word for word. And then the names of the individuals, the 2 individuals from Invenergy were misspelled. I pointed that out. Nothing has been changed. I've seen no change. We cannot accept these minutes. And I would like to remind everybody in this room, residents and this board alike, that this town board, I don't care what the basic state law, state statutes say about what gets in the minutes. This board passed a resolution a couple of years ago. I can get the exact date if you need it, but you all should have it, We passed a resolution that this board would say what is in the minutes. We have said this over and over and over again. So I don't give a rat's what the state statute said. This board, this town board passed a resolution that said, we control the minutes. We get to say if we wanted it expanded. I have specifically asked for expanded minutes. And damn it, this is not right. All these people and more, because I hear from more, come out and telling we're not doing a good enough job. This board, this town is not informing our public. They're trying to participate, and we're just putting up one roadblock after another from allowing them to participate in our town. They pay the taxes. We owe this information to them. We owe them. What is the big deal from making more comprehensive minutes, for crying out loud, so that if they can't get to a meeting, or, you know, we refuse to have it on Zoom, or we don't post it on YouTube, because gosh, I have also gone back, it's like, to try to get clarification on a minutes, on the abbreviated summary of the minutes. I pulled up YouTube recordings and it's like, I can't find it. It's not there. Today I went looking for something to, like, what did we say? I can't find it. I can't find it. It's shameful how we cannot keep track of that. And I'm just livid right now, livid that we have to disappoint so many people because we can't control what we're doing. And I will not approve those minutes, nor should you. Thank you. Let's stop.
I guess no, until we see the amended minutes.
Councilman Brown,
Not right now.
Supervisor Williver,
I will abstain because I wasn't here.
town board members. Please see me regarding how minutes are amended and how you as town board members provide the amendments to me in open public meetings.
Why don't we get them back to read amended minutes if they're tabled? If they're tabled and because of numerous corrections or whatever the reason might be, then we should get them back to be able to read them and
No,
approve
you
them.
don't. Statute, I know you don't care about the laws.
That, no, that's ridiculous.
You just
Don't
said
even,
that.
I said, not the laws, the way it's written. I'm saying the New York State law, the way it's written, doesn't apply to this town board.
It does, it's
It
just.
does.
the board took an action to amend the local law to.
Right, and it supersedes that.
Yes,
It does. And that we didn't make it up. We had legal guidance in doing that.
Besides specific word for word and where exactly I put the department information in the minutes to tell you what is going to be amended. What have you told me? You've told me I've said verbatim. I read something verbatim. The very carefully extracted from your 2-page information and tried to put as much qualifying information in it so that people could see it. They can also view it. They can also get a recording of it. I don't understand why this town board does not understand the process. It is one thing that I provide to the public. The public can call me at any time and get a recording. They can view it on YouTube. If you have trouble finding it on YouTube, that can be asked of me as well. The board members, a couple have reached out and asked me different questions, sometimes none, crickets. So I'm an elected official, the same as you are. Communicate. This board has to communicate to me if you want something different.
but I am doing the exact job that a town clerk does according to the minutes and the statute.
Thank you.
If you'd like to proceed with more, fine. So those minutes will not be carried.
What about the 27th?
The regular town board on the 27th.
The town run myself.
Yes.
I so move to approve town board minutes of Wednesday, August 27th, 2025, as submitted by Deputy Town Clerk Buchanan. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Councilwoman Morelli,
Aye.
Councilman Kai,
Aye.
Councilman Brown,
Aye.
Supervisor Wilbur,
Aye.
Councilman Chase.
Aye.
Workshop from August 20th.
I make the motion to approve the town board department head workshop minutes of Wednesday, August 20th, 2025, as submitted by town clerk Hargrave. Do I have a second?
Just real quick before. I'm looking them up again. I want to make sure. Is that? So on the 20th, on those minutes, if you look at it, I think Dan was there, but in them, it says that Dan, in the announcements, I mentioned that Dan was absent because of his knee surgery.
Oh,
So we just need to I think it was, but yeah. Well, he wasn't excused, he was here.
Yeah, I was here. I was here on the 20th.
But it said in the announcements that I announced that Dan was excused because of his knee surgery, but he was here for that. Yeah,
I was here.
yeah, that's what I assumed happened, but I just caught it right before, so. Okay, I'm sorry.
I was the one excused that day. 20th.
Yes, you were.
I was out.
I rest my case. Say.
Well,
Do I have a
it was
motion?
caught and we fixed it. So amended, we would have to make sure that Derek is listed
I was listening.
as absent and then in the announcement part, I never made that announcement. So that's the amendment to those minutes. Okay.
is there a second to that or not?
I'll second it.
Councilwoman Morelli,
The only reason I'm gonna vote okay, and the minutes could be on my thumbnail for a several hour meeting. I'm only going to vote for it is because we didn't vote on anything. It was presentations by the department heads, but anybody reading those would have not a clue about the discussions. And I sure as hell hope that those things are on YouTube somewhere so people understand what we're looking at. It's just not right. Aye.
Councilman Brown,
Abstain.
Councilman Chase.
Aye.
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 Aye. And the workshop on the 27th.
I so move to approve town board department head workshop minutes of Wednesday, August 27th, 2025, as submitted by Deputy Town Clerk Buchanan. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Councilwoman Morelli,
Yes, with the same comments, if you care to read them again. I'm being a pain, but it's just, you know, we're here for hours. Hours, anybody who was here or listened or participated. And we get something that's about that much. It's just not right. Other towns provide much more in-depth to the point of, you know, overkill, but it's all in there. I went and looked one time just to see how other things are reported, and sorry if you find it amusing, but I just, you know, this is nothing new. I've talked about this for the 4 years I've been in this position, that they were inadequate, but in my opinion, thank you. Aye.
Councilman Brown?
Aye.
Councilman Chase?
Aye.
Councilman Price?
Aye.
Aye. Public hearing didn't happen tonight because we didn't get the law posted online soon enough. Reschedule it. A lot of other towns do this in their organizational meeting because the one time we've gone above the 2% cap recently, we were pushing it to get it in the cap extended before the deadline for the county. So thought we'd knock it out of the way. We're trying to keep it under the 2%, but it's there in case we have to go over. And that's the whole purpose for passing it now. Moving on to the abstract.
Have move having reviewed all vouchers on abstract 9-1 of September 10th, 2025. Authorized payment totaling $126,671.41, which includes Fund AA General for $1,899.54, DA Highway Townwide for $16,936.02, and Fund LL Library for $835.85. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Councilwoman Riley?
Aye.
Councilman Brown?
Aye.
Councilman Chase?
Aye.
Councilman Price?
Aye.
Aye.
Can we mention to people that there were 2 significant payments in there? One for the 1911 house and one for repairs at White Springs. I don't have the exact numbers,
One was
but
like 26
combined,
and the other
yeah,
was 32.
it was like over $50,000 that were all covered by grant money. So out of the 126,000, over 50 grand was covered by grant money.
So, I mean, that's good catch.
I just like to.
I
tell
saw it in
people
there.
that,
That-
Yeah. Thank you.
Report of officers. Deputy Supervisor Chase,
I have nothing to report for this meeting.
Councilperson Morelli,
I did spend a lot of time getting ready for Monday night's budget workshop, if that counts. Which I'll have to do again.
zoning
What?
workshop was Monday.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, the zoning, the code workshop.
Yeah.
So then, other than that, no.
Councilperson Kais,
Few things. I did talk with Shannon over on Works Road on the water. Hopefully I got her on a path for working on the water extension over there. We'll see. Trying to get her lined up with a engineering firm to put the water district together so they can go back to the town.
So they have some direction
Yeah,
through you?
it's been an uphill
I've tried to help.
internal battle trying to get exactly the town guidance, and it's just the way to create this. And we finally got it worked out with Dan and the lawyers and everybody involved. And so I went over and had a talk with her. Well, I caught her on the phone and we got it got her on the right path at this point so she can proceed if they want to proceed with that. they know the right way of doing it now.
Thank you.
So, and then I think it'd be good for us to work with the internal here, so if somebody wants to do it again, we already have it laid out now. These are the steps and go forward. So.
Good idea.
Unfortunately, that deal of our past engineers and the way that was put together, a lot of people have a lot of different ideas now, and it really derails the system. That was a poor system that we got involved with, so I'll leave it at that.
Okay,
But we got it worked out and we're moving forward.
thank you.
Couple of notes I have is, I don't know nothing about pickleball. I never even heard of it till I was on the meeting last time, right? That's another point I want to bring up. But I'm guessing this is played on a similar to like a basketball court, something.
About a half,
Tennis court.
about a half court.
Okay, so my point is over at White Spruce or whatever our horse farm is over there. There's 2 basketball courts unused behind those buildings. And maybe that's something we want to consider for pickleball courts. The pavement's in nice shape. I drove by, I took a look at it because I was getting ready for the hay rides for the fall festival, and beautiful courts. So it might be something to entertain for a place for them. Another note I have is it kind of ties into the last 2 I got. The microphones in here, I don't know if the people out here could hear us good, but I know when I'm on YouTube or I'm on the TV and I'm trying to listen, unless somebody talks right in that mic, and this is probably as bad, it's almost impossible to hear the people talking, especially the female genders. Their voices are different. They don't carry as well. And it's brutal to hear out there in computer land. All right. And I know in here, it's hard to hear, for me to hear Pam. And I know they got a mic there, but it's the sounds in this room drowned out voices. And I know if you got perfect hearing, maybe you guys can hear really good, but if we're gonna look into something for the budget, it'd be fix the hearing in here so people can hear us. You know, I know my voice might carry, but maybe yours doesn't. Or Derek, maybe your voice won't carry right, but I'm just saying that to me, there seems to be a need to do something with the PA system. And I know that you've spent a lot of money but there's gotta be something we can do. It's just brutal. All right,
Thank you.
now you got my 2 cents.
Derek,
Nothing to report.
Pam?
July town clerk monthly revenue report was submitted to the supervisor with a check for $10,007.44. And state revenue funds were submitted for $186.96. The town clerk's new computers with Windows 12 have been installed because of the meeting deadline for October, avoiding performance issues and vulnerabilities. We have an updated list for our IT team that's working on the other departments that also need these updates for their Windows 11 that we use. Our IT rack has been moved and relocated from the basement, avoiding possible more water damage. I just wanted to clarify something about the budget meetings that the budget department had submitted information in their inner office materials to the finance director. They are in their office and they are not foilable. And that is why the public did not receive a copy of anything that was discussed at that open workshop. That is why it was recorded. And the summary is of just of what people spoke about There will be a tentative and a preliminary budget. Once it becomes tentative and the town board has it in hand, that is when it does become public. Just for some clarification. And our minutes are always recorded, so if anybody would ever like to listen to all of them, all you have to do is ask. Thank you.
Thank you. Kevin? I went over to the Railroad Museum. They got a new sign. They announced that they hope to be open September 20th after the flood damage that they've had. They've been trying to rebuild the tracks and it set them way back, but they should hope to open the 20th. And fall is generally a big season for them, so they can start making some money again. That's all that I have. Moving on to old business, discussion of options to amend the chapter 103 maximum income eligibility levels for exemptions for seniors. Amy has said that she'd hang around and give us an update on this, more things she, well, to limit income for seniors and how that would affect tax payments for everybody else.
Hanging around to hear your decision. I didn't know I was gonna talk again. Did you have questions?
With opting out, with eliminating full social security from senior citizens. And that would be upping the town limit to 58.4. Wouldn't it?
So there were 4 options that I presented.
Yep.
The first option was changing the maximum income limit to be consistent with the county, which is
Yes.
58,400.
Yep.
There was an option to change the income limit to be consistent with what the school's limit is, which is 44,400. Those 2 options are more of a known entity in terms of how much is that going to cost, because we already know, because the county limit is 58,400, how many people will qualify. So the numbers that I gave you for that are pretty much a known entity. The other 2 options that I gave you were completely different, and they were based on leaving the maximum where it is and just changing how we calculate income.
I'll leave.
Leaving the maximum where it is now, which is 36,400, and then changing how we calculate income. So changing how we calculate income, the first option was to not include full Social Security. And then you saw and then I put a bottom line result on that. However, that could invite more people to qualify that are not already on the exemption. So it's a little bit of an unknown as to what the impact would be financially.
Just that would be $45.59 for everybody else if nobody else joins in.
Correct. And was that just the town tax, or was that the amended thing that I gave you that had the school and the town and
I
county?
think that had this everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know I sent you something after I presented that had
Yeah.
a little
This is
more.
yeah.
Okay, good. And then the 4th option was to not include the full Social Security, but to also include that IRA income, which that option is also not a known amount, because other people could qualify. It could take some people off, but it could also allow more people to qualify. So the second 2 options are a little more of a wild card, so to speak.
Can you explain to me the rationale behind not including full Social Security when looking at income limits, and also counting or not counting IRA distributions?
So the social security, right now, we're including the full social security. So
Right
it
now.
doesn't matter whether it's taxable or it's non-taxable. If we weren't to include the full social security, all we would be looking at is what's the taxable, what's the amount of their social security that they're being taxed on. People who have less sources of income are taxed on less of their social security.
For income tax purposes.
Correct.
I know.
But we are using the income tax. We are using the federal income tax is where we are getting our information from.
Right, but on the 1040, it's disclosed the full social security benefits versus the taxable social security.
Correct. So we have options so the state mandate right now is you use full social security.
Okay,
We would be, so I shouldn't say the state well, it is the state, the basic mandate for this exemption is you include full social security. That's what we're currently doing.
okay.
The state has given towns the option to adopt different ways of calculating income. I provided information for 2 of the ways you could do it.
So
And that was not to include full social security, just to do the taxable by itself, which would have a pretty big impact, as you could see. And then there was the option to just do taxable social security and include the IRAs. So that basically right now, IRA income is not being considered
why is that?
because the basic mandate says don't include IRA distributions.
And this at the state level,
Correct,
but we have the option to do that.
correct.
I just didn't understand the rationale.
Okay.
Because people could have significant assets. I'm not trying to make people who deserve it, low-income people. I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to hurt any of our seniors. I am a senior.
Understood.
And I am, fortunate. I guess I don't qualify for
You are
any of these
fortunate.
exemptions. I am. I know I am.
Yeah.
But for income tax purposes, you include IRA distributions. And people could have millions of dollars in assets in IRAs
That's correct.
and be perfectly capable of paying town taxes from,
That's correct.
as from a resource point of view.
That's correct.
So you lean
You know,
towards the option 1, of
I-
just the
I
social
kinda-
security.
I don't want to hurt anybody, but I guess I would like to really know more. I'd like to understand from our seniors how they would be hurt if I don't want to hurt anybody. And I don't want to make an irrational recommendation. I want to be convinced why wouldn't it include IRA distributions? If people have to include pension benefits, are they excluded?
Whatever they have to put on their federal income tax. I don't know what the requirements are of what people have to put on their taxes or what they.
Well, okay,
So
so
we're
you
just
do. You
using-
have to include your pension benefits, IRA distributions, and maybe you don't have enough in your IRA to live on. So you're taking money out of other investable assets that is, maybe create gain, which is included in your taxable income. So those people have to report all that and get eligible or not eligible
I think the
for
difference,
exemption.
I think the difference with excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I believe the difference with the IRA distributions is that they're not taxable because you've already been taxed before it was an IRA.
No,
I-
no,
Okay.
no. If you have a 401k with your employer, that's pre-tax money. It comes out and then you pay tax when you take the distributions.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's never been taxed. That's why it's taxed now.
So
So-
you can't win this thing.
So-
You want to give the benefit to the seniors, but by giving the benefit to the seniors, the young people in this room are going to pay more taxes.
Yeah.
It's a no-win.
Or me too.
situation, you know, I
I'm
mean,
paying too. 'cause
That's
I don't get
correct.
any exemption.
That's correct. You're
Uh-uh.
always going to be shifting the burden if you're trying to
Correct.
exempt more people.
I'm not, I want to fully help seniors who cannot afford it or, have less disposable income, truly have less disposable income. I want them to get everything. How do we accomplish that?
In my opinion, I think we raised the level of exemption to 58,400, the current county level. That would add an extra $10 to the average tax bill, which is nominal, and give seniors a break.
So I saw that and I just want to double, because I didn't see down lower in that table. Is that just in town tax or does that,
I believe that was just the town tax.
so it's gonna be $11?
The one you sent today said it would total increase for town, county and school taxes per property for option one, which was social security only, correct? Was $45.59.
Correct,
Okay.
but
Yeah,
that's not changing the income level.
Right.
Changing
That's-
the
yeah,
income
it's leaving.
level I'm sorry, I don't have that in
No,
front of me to read it.
So we're looking at I didn't see it on the bottom there where the total was with the other
Yeah.
options. Did anyone else?
No.
You fine, okay, so I'm
So
not the only one that didn't
so
see
I
it.
Yeah.
emailed, are you talking about the one that I emailed, not the one I handed out at the presentation?
This is the one you emailed.
Emailed.
yeah,
The
this
one I
is-
emailed, I did do town, county and school for each of the options.
And I'm just gonna show you just so I can make sure.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Okay, so,
This is the one that we just got emailed. And down.
all right, so here, yeah, but it doesn't have, yeah, those, for
Yeah,
those,
those totals. there,
That's
but not
option two.
on those.
okay,
That'd be option one.
including full social security, but not IRAs.
Yep.
Is that what,
I believe that's
This.
sticking to that
and this is including
That's-
option one?
option two.
Well, it's confusing the way it's written to me, but this here is opting out of full social security and opt in, including IRAs. That's
Correct.
what this is.
Yes.
And this one
And
is,
because we talked about that, at the last meeting, that the IRA distribution could affect it one way or the other, but we also don't, that could end up being more without knowing.
Yeah.
Because right now we're
Might-
using social
might
security
accept
distributions
more-
and she knows it has more solid. Right.
Might accept more people.
Amy, you have a
So-
more
Responded
solid
to
number
it
on
today.
social security distributions than you do IRA distributions.
That would
Correct.
be,
So, while either of those options is a wild card because we don't know. I don't know. I would have to go through individually. That would be, well, I did go through individually and say what everything would,
Yeah.
how everything would change. But changing how we calculate the income would invite more people in. So changing the income limit for the town, that's only the town tax. Because the income limits are already set by the county and already set by the school. That's why there's only one number. So it would add $10
Gotcha.
and that's because that's the only thing it would impact is the town tax. If you change how the income is calculated, that's going to change the county tax, the town tax and the school. That's why the three are added together.
okay, so the first two lines, those are the hard numbers for,
Correct.
okay, gotcha, thank
The
you.
other two are.
Yeah.
But
I needed to work through that.
Yeah. I'm sorry, yeah, I just. Got it, now I
I did not
understand
review
though.
that today. I apologize.
Okay. So. Just to do that, it's only gonna raise $10
to everyone else that doesn't get the exemption.
correct.
Yes. And that's a pretty set number.
Yeah.
As opposed to the other two options are,
Well,
they could change quite a bit.
If you went with
And,
the IRA.
and if you raise the income level to 58,000, I think it'll affect more seniors, and that's what we're trying to do.
In a positive way.
Yes.
So it'll help all of the people that are making less than 58,400 with their town taxes.
Yes.
That's what it will do.
I have researched every town in Monroe County, so.
Are we having a public discussion?
I think, we're gonna have a public hearing on this, correct? Before we even make it a law.
The public hearing is still open.
But every single town in Monroe County, there are some that have gone to 40. But they didn't get into all of this interior income because, Councilwoman Riley is right. People have, IRAs, they have, interest, just keep the revenue, and I have to agree with Supervisor Ward. The goal of the state was to make sure that, senior citizens who were on such limited income, widows, widowers, could stay in their home. It's a continuing place initiative. So it was done in August, it was just to raise that limit from 39 to 58. Every town, Henrietta. And then the other thing I want to make sure is it's for people with disabilities as well. Two rules. And so Henrietta's resolution is perfect. Half a dozen towns, all of them, wealthy towns. There are a few towns who have very limited income. They stayed with 40, but we are. I checked all of that too. How wealthy are we? So 58.4, that would help people. Some of us will continue to pay. I'm proud to pay $10 to make sure that my neighbors who can stay in their homes. That's the goal. 58.4, close the door. I agree with Supervisor Wilson, but getting into revenue and getting into people's income tax, it's not necessary. And it does.
But we already are.
Well,
They have to
forgive
show
me,
their
but we
tax
already
return.
are.
Their income will fluctuate.
It just shows up. It just shows up. It's not anything you have to look or ask. It's there. That's all I'm
I
saying.
think we're all in agreement.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement here.
Well, I'm not
$10.
done talking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I
Nope,
want to
go ahead. Nope.
understand and make sure I'm doing the right
Yeah,
thing by
okay.
everybody.
Yeah.
So let's be clear. I am absolutely for raising the income limit. Okay, so let's take that off the table.
Yeah.
My only thing I was tossing around, should we exclude IRAs? And why should we exclude IRA income?
That can be an option. So you could
know.
just do that by itself as an option
No,
without.
I'm saying keep the income,
Correct.
give the higher 58.4.
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
But when you're calculating the 58.4, you're including the reduced social security or the full social security?
I thought,
And
I guess I'm sorry, during our discussion, I thought you said that the IRA, the gains that you get from if you're pulling out of an IRA already show up as income on your taxes. So that would be included in that 58,000.
no, they exclude it. They take it, I back it out. They
Mhm.
take your tax return and you may have $150,000 in taxable IRA distributions that are not counted for income eligibility for a reduced tax in the town.
That's correct.
Okay.
We back
You're
that line
saying-
out.
If you're collecting IRA.
Yeah, if you're a senior, okay, first of all, here's a little tax thing.
Yeah.
At age 73, you have to start taking IRA distributions.
I got a long way to go.
Good, I'm glad.
No, you
Defer,
have to-
defer, maximize your contributions. I'm just saying. So seniors, whatever qualifies as a senior, 65, 66 for the tap for this purpose.
65.
65. So anybody between 65 and 73 doesn't have to take an IRA distribution, just saying.
That's correct.
I'm just saying, I'm good with the 58.4. I'm just want to make sure that are we doing the right thing by everybody? You know, yes, there are seniors whose social security is their sole source of income. I know this. And they're going to be helped. We're going to raise that because maybe have a little something extra, whatever. So we're going to raise that income threshold. But for people who get, you know, who have social security and IRAs and, you know, whatever, why are we not including that? If they have the means. This is to help seniors who don't have the means. Isn't that correct? Isn't that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Why wouldn't we include And maybe some people are getting, because their IRA balances are whatever, and they, you know, maybe get 30,000 in Social Security and another 10,000 in IRA, and they're still under the thresholds, bing, bang, boom, good, you're still good. But there are people, and I know, because I see a lot of tax returns.
Don't you have to claim the IRA when you take it out?
Yes, yes.
So if you got a
But
number,
that's excluded in calculating the income thresholds for purposes of the senior exemption for town tax.
Correct. Right now, they're being.
Do you realize that?
it's no wonder I don't do counting.
Well, I'm just trying to,
So you're saying we should include it?
I want to have the discussion
I
that you
could, I
understand.
I can relook at them all again, and I can tell you how many people would be excluded if we just include the IRA.
And Social Security.
Well, I mean, if we just exclude if we include the IRA,
Yeah, back in,
money. So-
would
so
they be
basically-
thrown out of the system?
I can tell you, I can recalculate based on the 2025 information that we already have. The stuff that qualified people for this year, I can tell you how many people will be excluded. I'll have to go back and.
But-
do-
How
but
many would
also-
get thrown out?
I had another question though, but also in that, when we were looking across your chart, when we do that, the second options, then our county and our school tax also get increased with those, where if we just up the max, it's just the town tax, is that what we said?
Correct.
So
So
that
I,
increases the burden
I-
of the rest more than if we just went with a single option. If you look at the charts,
No, what I'm saying, it reduces the burden because we're including more income. And that it may throw out one or two people. I don't
Correct.
know.
I don't think it's going to, it's not, if you include that IRA money, it's only going to exclude people. It's not going to bring anybody else in.
okay, I
Because
guess.
you're basically increasing their income. If they don't have any IRA distributions, then their
But-
income is still their income.
So I guess, so my question, so in those first two columns where you said that if we just did the option where we just left it the same, where it went up like $11 per household,
Mhm.
but that was just if we increased the actual amount of money. But then if we bundle the options, the total per household because of school and county went up to $45 per household.
Right, so I guess you could look at the difference between the two other options, option one and then option 1 and 2. The difference of that is how much it would go down. Essentially, that's a quick way to figure it out. So the difference between those two numbers that are all three tax increases bundled together, because basically I offered the IRA as an option to kind of offset all of the Social Security income that's now being subtracted. So you're basically adding back in some income if you include that IRA distribution. So the impact would be, if you do include that IRA distribution and raise the income limit, it would help offset raising the income limit. Because basically that IRA, it's just increasing.
So that kind of works towards what Gene's point.
Correct. It minimizes the
It minimizes the
impact.
burden on those.
Yes, the people who don't have IRA income. I mean, we have a few residents that have a lot of income that are getting this exemption. It's not a lot, but it is a few, so. That I know of right this minute.
Do you want further analysis?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
I would. I'd like to hear from our residents. I'd like to hear the analysis. How many people would get kicked out by including IRA money?
I'll have to, and increasing.
And they will
and
hate
increasing
me if
the
you know
income
that,
limit.
but it's,
Increasing it
sorry?
to 54 and then having
Yeah.
the, including the IRA.
Okay, I can figure that out. I'll email you guys when I figure it out.
All right,
Thank you, Amy.
thank you.
You're welcome.
anybody wants to understand how taxes work, give me a call.
Sorry, it wasn't more.
I won't even try.
It's for all the retirement.
I know.
Defer.
Defer.
You haven't gotten the bill yet.
and you'll be
Yeah, we're gonna
okay.
Schedule a workshop for this or no?
The public hearing's already open
So.
for what we just talked
Oh, I
about.
thought, yeah.
Yeah,
Under new business. DJ wants us to hold off on the purchase of the pipe for Kavanaugh Road. So that's off. We need a resolution to schedule a public hearing for the vote on the tax cap. To exceed the 2% tax cap. For next September 24th meeting.
I so moved to reschedule the public hearing on the proposed local law number to be determined of 2025, authorizing the property tax levy. Authorizing the property tax levy to exceed 2%. Is that how that should read, Kevin?
Yes.
Okay. Tax levy to exceed the 2% on Wednesday, September 24th, 2025 at 7:15 PM at the offices of the Rush Town Hall, 5977 East Henrietta Road, Rush, New York, 14543. Do I have a second?
I'll second it. Aye.
Councilman Brown?
Aye.
Chase?
Aye.
Guys?
Aye.
Over?
Aye. And we need a resolution to approve Justice's Lang appointment of Michelle Rast as a clerk to the town justice. We had a new clerk and then she left and now we're getting a new clerk.
I know, I couldn't believe it. I said, wait a minute, didn't we just do this?
I
And
thought
then
this-
realized, no, she left. I was like,
Yeah, I
oh,
thought the same thing. I was like,
yeah, it's like.
it's like deja vu here.
Yeah.
Is this one gonna stick around?
Hopefully, fingers
Absolutely.
crossed.
I so moved to authorize Town Justice Ryan Lang's appointment of Michelle Rast as clerk to Town Justice effective September 11th, 2025 at a step 1. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Browning?
Aye.
Councilman Chase?
Aye.
Councilman Guys?
Aye.
Over?
Aye. Upcoming sub-board meetings, I believe the conservation board's been canceled. And I don't really know that there's anything for the zoning board.
Are we gonna reschedule our workshop?
I was gonna ask that.
We really need to.
Yeah.
We
Do we
need to
wanna
get,
go,
we need to get that done.
do we wanna go back to the first Monday of October, or do we want to try and get one in this month, or what's our thought on that? We should probably, what about Scott? What his schedule is?
Scott would like to get it in sooner than later because he has the possibility of more surgery.
Oh,
So, but for public notice, Pam, what's the soonest,
We have
what's
to
our
do
time frame?
2 week notice, at least 2 weeks.
so that would be the 29th.
I mean, at
If we're
that
gonna do it
point,
on
what are we
Monday.
gaining?
Don't ask me that on Monday.
I know.
Don't even ask me.
Or, I don't know, what's Tuesday, the 30th, or whatever you think. I'm available either of those if you.
Yeah.
I
I'd
think,
like to do Tuesday the 30th.
I'm fine with that.
Does that work for you?
yeah, I'm
Well,
just double. Is
Tuesday the 30th.
Tuesday, the 30th.
Tuesday?
Tuesday.
That's good
Can we do
me.
it? that good?
7?
Yes.
Tuesday, September 30th, 7 PM.
We need an official resolution for that.
Yes.
Yes. Reschedule the public hearing, or reschedule the workshop.
I so move to reschedule our September town board workshop regarding the updating of the residential code to September 30th, 2025 at 7 PM. Do I have a second?
Oh, second that.
To be held at the Rush Town Hall at 5977 East Henrietta Road, Rush, New York, 14543.
I'll second it.
Councilman Morale?
Aye.
Councilman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Fitch.
Aye.
Councilman Pies,
Aye.
Aye. And having conducted all town's business, evening, I make a motion to adjourn.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.